On September 6, 1976, Soviet pilot Viktor Belenko made a decision that shocked the world. Flying one of the Soviet Union's most advanced fighter jets, the MiG-25 Foxbat, he defected to the West, delivering a prized secret to his country's rivals. At just 29 years old, Belenko was a rising star in the Soviet Air Force. He was trusted with flying the MiG-25, a jet designed to reach incredible speeds and climb higher than almost anything else in the sky. To the West, the Foxbat was a terrifying mystery, a symbol of Soviet power. But to Belenko, it represented something different. It was part of a system he had come to resent. Growing up in the Soviet Union, Belenko saw the disconnect between the propaganda and the reality of life for ordinary people. The system promised prosperity, but most citizens lived in poverty and fear. Over time, he became disillusioned. Stories of freedom in the West gave him hope, and the idea of escaping began to grow in his mind. Defecting was an enormous risk. Leaving the Soviet Union without permission was a crime punishable by death. On top of that, Belenko planned to flee with the MiG-25, a move that could provoke an international crisis. Still, he was determined to go through with it. On the morning of his defection, Belenko took off on a routine training flight from Chuguyevka Air Base. Everything seemed normal to his colleagues, but once airborne, he broke away from the group and headed toward Japan. His destination was Hakodate Airport, a small civilian airfield in northern Japan. It was a dangerous choice. The airport's short runways weren't designed for a high-speed jet like the MiG-25. As he descended, Japanese air traffic controllers scrambled to clear the runway. The massive jet roared in, barely coming to a stop before running out of space. Viktor Belenko had made it. The defection created an uproar. The Soviet Union demanded Belenko and the plane be returned. But Japan, backed by the United States, refused. Instead, U.S. intelligence teams were given access to the MiG-25. For years, the Foxbat had been seen as a near-invincible weapon. But once the Americans examined it, they found surprising flaws. While the plane was incredibly fast and powerful, it was built with outdated technology, including vacuum tubes. These made it resistant to electromagnetic attacks, but also revealed the limits of Soviet engineering. The plane guzzled fuel at an alarming rate, giving it a short range, and it wasn't well suited for dogfights. The West realized the Foxbat wasn't as unbeatable as they'd feared. Meanwhile, Belenko's defection became a major propaganda victory for the United States. He provided valuable intelligence about the Soviet military and their operations. But his story also symbolized something bigger: the appeal of freedom over oppression. After extensive debriefings by the CIA, Belenko was granted asylum in the United States. He started a new life, becoming an engineer and even writing a memoir, MiG Pilot: The Final Escape of Lieutenant Belenko. His decision to defect embarrassed the Soviet Union and gave the West a clearer picture of their rivals' military capabilities. More than that, though, it showed the power of one person's courage. Belenko risked everything for a chance at freedom, and in doing so, he changed the course of history.